One of the things that I loved reading about in your books was relationships.
Yeah.
And you open up so deeply and vulnerably in your book, which I thought was really profound and genuinely so helpful for people.
Thank you.
And I'm really grateful that we're going to get to share that with my community today. But one of the things you talk about is past relationships, toxic relationships, perhaps difficult decisions in relationships.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to talk us through how you were still able to find so much meaning or lessons in those, or how actually you don't see them as just bad decisions, but you were able to learn from them. Because I think that's something that we all need to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been such an introspective, reflective person. I've always tried to see the good even in the bad. I'm always slightly more optimistic than I am pessimistic. And for me, I was very young when I experienced my relationship that was emotionally abusive. And at times I didn't see it as that in the moment. And then at times I did know that certain things weren't right, but I was so far in and I didn't know how to get out of it, in a sense, I felt very small. I felt very quieted. I felt belittled. But at the same time, it was kind of what I knew in that relationship. And it was something that part of me was like, but he does love me. And there are these elements of kindness at moments. And it's just, I would never say that I was weak, because I've never been like a weak person. I think there were moments when I didn't know how to voice myself in the strongest, loudest way, because even in moments when I tried to voice myself, I was shushed. And so I was called names. I was told not to have an opinion on things. I was just very much felt a lesser version of myself. And I can say all that now looking back on it as a stronger person because of it. And it's something that took a lot. I mean, my friends and family definitely played a part in vocalizing their thoughts and intervening in a sense. But, it's interesting looking back on it. And even at the time, I always look at present situations as ones to work on in terms of what am I learning from this at the time? Like, it's going to define how I get through this just as much as it's going to define me as to what happens in the end. And it's about the journey, which you talk about all the time. And for me, the lessons I learned in how I don't want to be treated, what I don't want from a partner, how can I become stronger? Also just the idea of not shaming myself for not leaving earlier. Because I think that if we only looked back on experiences with the shame and the regret and the fear and all that, then we don't allow ourselves to embrace any learning through what we would have gone through. And I think it's in anything difficult that we go through, if we just lived in the shame of embarrassment of not knowing how to act, or I can't believe I didn't know more about this subject. If we let that cloud our judgment, we prevent ourselves from learning more and growing through it. So I tried my best to kind of keep an open mind even when it was the hardest, because I knew that there would be a more positive outcome in the end. Ultimately, I knew this person wasn't the person for me, and I just needed to find a way to get through it that felt right and genuine to me, and also that I could kind of leave it clean. And know that I did everything I could and not blame myself. So I'm actually grateful for the experiences that I had within myself. I'm not saying that I'm grateful for how I was treated, because I wish that there were moments I had never experienced, but I am grateful for the moments that I sat within my own head and my own heart and said, enough is enough. Because at those moments, I felt like I was defining how I moved forward. And I was defining the future that I was setting for myself. And now I know that there are certain ways in which a person acts that I will just never tolerate, that no one should tolerate. And that's not just in romantic, relationships. That's in work environments. That's in just everyday living. That's with friends. And it really did teach me so much. And I would encourage anyone that has gone through something like that or is going through something like that to not allow the embarrassment or shame that you may feel prevent you from knowing deep within yourself what you need to do, and to prevent you from moving forward and being able to speak about it openly. Because I think that there is a big fear in not vocalizing oneself. So I think that for me has really helped me raise the volume on my voice.